Well, good morning and thanks for joining us here. It is Thursday, the 11th of December. I'm Mitch Carter.
That's right. I'm Casey Mason. As always, thanks for joining us here for our streaming show. Going to recap some top headlines for you this morning, and then we'll get you over to Byron Douglas with a look at the latest on the forecast.
Yeah, kicking things off here, happening today, jury selection getting underway now in a high-profile Evansville murder trial. 46-year-old Larry Richmond's accused of murdering firefighter Robert Dorr. As we told you here at 14 News, Dorr was shot to death at his home back in 2019. Elizabeth Fox Dorr, Robert's widow, was sentenced last year to 90 years in prison for murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Richmond's trial, originally scheduled for May, ended up being moved after he requested a new judge. So testimony is set to begin on Monday. I saw her this morning, Arma Beck, right now on the way, if not already there, for that jury selection this morning. And of course, the trial begins on Monday, so we'll keep you updated as that approaches.
We sure will. All right, switching gears now. Another story we wanted to keep you up to date on here. It's going to be the very last week for the Evansville-Vanderburgh Public Library's Red Bank location. Now, as we've been reporting here on 14 News, what they're going to do is crews are going to tear down that current building there and then put a new one in its place. So there are going to be a lot of events happening throughout the week here to celebrate this. We know that today and tomorrow you're actually invited to add a message to what they're calling their farewell wall, meaning and meanwhile happening tonight, the EVPL leaders are going to hold an information session regarding the library demolition. That's going to be happening from 6 to 7:30 at that Red Bank location if you'd like to attend.
There you go. And moving now to a partnership in Princeton, giving back to families in need. The Isaiah 117 Project and several local restaurants all teaming up for a gift card tree project. Now, it started on Black Friday with restaurants adding trees decorated with various gift cards. People can donate money to cover the cost of those, and the gift cards directly support area foster families. You can find those trees at 12 local restaurants, including Arby's, Bobe's Pizza, and Applebee's. Project leaders say it is crucial to help one another this holiday season.
It's so important. Our community is coming together and serving those that are most vulnerable at this time of year. So it just means everything to be a part of a community that always says yes and is willing to serve children and families.
Isaiah 117 officials say they plan to put out the trees every year, hopefully with even more local restaurants participating.
All right, great way to give back there up in my neck of the woods. If
There you
will.
go,
There's some
yeah.
folks involved in that, so great way to give back if you can this holiday season. Of course, a couple of the top headlines we recapped for you here today on our streaming show. That'll do it unless you have anything else you want to add.
I am
Coach Carter.
good to go. Yeah, right now it's 8:32, coming up on 8:33 here in our CTV studio. Stick around, though. Byron Douglas up next with your full forecast.
News and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
All right, good morning. I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas. Thanks for tuning in here on our stream on this Thursday. And we do have a winter weather advisory for 2 of our counties. The axis of snow has changed. This Clipper system will draw a little closer to our area. So as we talked on 14 News Sunrise, this will kick in this evening. I'll tighten up these counties just a bit. So they do include across our viewing area, Pike and Du Bois counties, Jasper, Huntingburg, Petersburg, Winslow. I talked to someone earlier up in the stream that lives in Washington, Indiana. You guys generally in these areas are looking at 1 up to 3 inches of snow. And we have a little more time now, so I'll take you through the latest guidance. And then we have an alert day. I'll let you just absorb these counties here in a moment. I'll go back out to the I'll take this full. There we go. There's a look. So you get into Vincennes, Jasper, Huntingburg, and these locations. Winter weather advisory kicks in this evening, and then we'll run through tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow temps will work above freezing. And bring you up to date, we have added an alert day. More than likely, this will carry over into the Monday morning commute as well. But we'll just give the headline here, extreme cold. Wind chills kind of a range of -9 to -14. If you're out late Saturday night, temperatures are going to nosedive into the single digits. So there is an alert day. But we have a couple of clipper systems to the north for today and tonight. And then again Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. All right, let's check Doppler radar. Nothing on board. In fact, I just checked in with the National Weather Service up in Lincoln, Nebraska. They have temperatures, high temps into the 50s today, but that advisory follows this little clipper system that's going to kind of work in from Iowa, and then we'll work through Missouri and then stay generally to our areas to the north. But across the metro area, we could see some light accumulation. So I want to highlight a couple of towns. I'm going to show you the hour by hour. This will match up what we have in our 14 First Alert weather app. So as we go through this evening, some rain and even some snow, but at 6 p.m. the air and ground temperatures are scheduled to be above freezing. So there's a look at Evansville. And I want to show you Jasper because you guys are pinned in this advisory. So we're highlighting at 6 p.m. decent chances for snow, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And temps will be in the lower 30s. Excuse me, up through Jasper and Huntingburg. Petersburg as well. All right, let's bring it back to the forecast. We're going to continue to cloud up. The snow and rain mixture late, but this evening as you commute home, the roads should be okay across the metro areas. Those areas up to the north we're watching, but we'll take a look at the latest guidance in a moment. Tonight, changing over to some snow, lows down to 30. And then for tomorrow, chance for a few flurries early in the day, otherwise a high of 41. So let's go to hour by hour. This is the most optimistic as far as keeping snow to the north. So this is showing more of a rain component. I'm using the rapid refresh, a short range model we use. I really like it for these events and then also for thunderstorms, but obviously no thunderstorms today. And it keeps a lot of the snow to the north, and we'll take a look at some of the snow potential in a moment. This is the most aggressive concerning some snow. This is at 11 here this morning, 2-3 this afternoon. This is running ahead of schedule from yesterday. Look, snow, Evansville, Henderson, even perhaps as far south there as Hartford. So all blue and purples across the area showing some snow across the area during that stretch. Then a lot of the snow will generally be north and northeast of Interstate 64, but at 7, 8 o'clock, Spencer, Warwick counties, even back as far west as Newburgh and Chandler showing some snow. And then some snow in the pre-dawn hours up towards Jasper. So Vincennes, Washington, and Jasper, I think as far as snow, you'd be at the high end, which we'll cover in a moment. And then Friday, we take a break. Now here's the snow from the graph model. It's down a little bit for Evansville, 4/10 of an inch, kind of a snow that some of it would melt on the way down. Mount Carmel, Oakland City, Jasper, Huntingburg at 2, but they get that another round there early. So they're in that range there, that 1 to 2, which fits the winter weather advisory. Newburgh at 2/10, and then Owensboro, Madisonville, Greenville, generally across western Kentucky, not much at all during that stretch. And here is generally a different model. The HER model is showing 1/10 at Evansville, about an inch or so areas to the north and east. But this is kind of at the low end, but not much from the GFS and the European model as well. So, all right, now let's go into Saturday. This is our second clipper system that's going to work on through. And generally this will be all snow, but we've held off on the alert day. This is going to come in from the north and try to dry up before it arrives. This takes us into Saturday night. So maybe a quick little burst of snow. And we can see a minor dusting, but for areas, excuse me, up to the north. So here's the European model as we go into tonight, showing those snow bands to the north. Then on Friday, then let's see how it handles Saturday's system. Saturday brings some snow into Saturday night, so we'll have to monitor that. So we don't have, not all the solutions agree with respect to Saturday. And then we'll get to the 7-day here in a moment. Of course, we have the Arctic air to talk about on Sunday. So we're going to be dealing with some snow. We have no alert dates generally to the areas to the north, Vincennes, Washington, up towards Petersburg and Jasper and Huntingburg. 41 on Friday. Saturday, the best case for snow late afternoon into Saturday night, where we could see a dusting. Some areas north of Interstate 64 could see up to an inch. There's the alert day Sunday, single digits Sunday morning, and probably will carry the alert time over into Monday. And there could be some school delays due to the cold on Monday, but that's still a ways away as of yet. Leslie Chapman, good morning to you. Rebecca, Jeff, good morning to you over there in Sava. Amy in Evansville. Susan, yeah, Burr, it's going to be cold, but we do warm up. You know, look at Tuesday of next week of 43 and a 51 on Wednesday. So it's kind of a brief cold snap overall. So the alert day there is in there on Sunday for all of that. And then those low temperatures will work up as well. So we're going to keep an eye on late this afternoon tonight, early Friday morning for those counties north of Interstate 64, and then Saturday afternoon and then into Saturday night. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll leave the 7-day up here and let this marinate for a bit. Everyone have a super day. Arden Gregory's going to have more coming up at 11 a.m., then again at noon. Talk to you soon.